The ballroom shimmered with crystal light and whispered ambition. Champagne glasses clinked in rhythm with murmured mergers and strategic smiles. Lena Alvarez balanced a silver tray with quiet precision, eyes lowered, heart armored. She was invisible here, just another hotel staffer among the gleaming gowns and custom tuxedos. Until a small, terrified voice shattered everything. "Mommy." Lena turned. A little boy, no older than 5, stood inches from her, chest heaving, eyes wide and glassy. His tiny hand gripped her apron like a lifeline. She blinked. "Sweetheart, are you?" "Mommy, I found you," the boy whispered, trembling. And then he threw his arms around her waist. Every glass in the ballroom might as well have shattered. A hush rippled through the crowd like wildfire. Lena froze. Her tray tilted dangerously. The room spun, and at the far end of it stood the host of tonight's gala, Damian Wu, the CEO of Wu International. Cold, calculating, untouchable. He stood like a statue carved from steel, his eyes locked on her and the boy. The press had been eating up this event already. Now their cameras clicked like a chorus of machine guns. Flashes exploded across the room. I think you're mistaken," Lena stammered, crouching to gently peel the boy off. "I'm not." "Why are you pretending again?" he whimpered. "Don't leave again, Mommy." Whispers erupted. "Isn't it the CEO's kid?" someone muttered. "That's Damian Wu's son." Lena felt her stomach drop into ice water. A woman in a red velvet gown stormed forward. Isabel, Damian's rumored fiancée. She looked like she'd bitten into poison. "Who the hell is this girl?" she hissed. "Some nanny? Or another gold-digging staff member trying to make headlines?" "I don't know him," Lena snapped, but her voice shook. "I've never seen this boy before tonight." "Then why is he calling you Mom?" Isabel's voice was acidic. "Right when the media's watching. How convenient." Lena turned to Damian, hoping for a lifeline, but he said nothing. His gaze was unreadable, cold, focused, as if calculating the fallout in real time. The boy still clung to her. And now he was crying. Security began to approach. Lena's panic surged. "Wait," she said, standing straight. "Don't grab him. He's just a child." A camera flashed. A journalist whispered, "Scandal brewing. CEO's son, mystery woman. Tonight's gala just turned tabloid gold." Lena looked at Damian again, this time with fire in her chest. "Say something. He's your son." He finally spoke. "Take them both to the private lounge. Now." His voice cut like a blade. Security surrounded them instantly. Someone tried to take the boy, but he screamed, "Don't take Mommy away." Damian's jaw tightened. No one touches the child. It was the first sign of emotion he'd shown. They were escorted through the crowd, past glittering stares and whispering mouths. Lena held the boy's hand, pulse pounding in her throat. Inside the private lounge, silence fell, thick and tense. Damian entered last. The door clicked shut behind him. He didn't speak right away, just stared. Lena met his gaze. "I don't know why your son thinks I'm—" "He doesn't lie," Damian said quietly. "He's 5. He barely talks to anyone. But tonight, he ran across a ballroom of strangers and clung to you like his life depended on it." "I don't know him." Her voice cracked with frustration and fear. "I've never met him. I'm just a waitress." His eyes narrowed. "Do you think I'm a fool?" "I think you're looking for someone to blame." They locked eyes. The boy in the corner now had stopped crying. He was watching them, silent, hopeful. Lena's voice softened. "Look, I'll leave. I don't want trouble. But that boy, he needs comfort. Whether I'm his mom or not, this isn't his fault." Damian tilted his head, studying her like a puzzle with a missing piece. Then something strange happened. He reached into his pocket and took out his phone. "Security footage," he murmured. "I need to know what happened before he ran to you." Her heart sank. He was going to dissect everything. And yet, behind all that cold calculation in his eyes, something else flickered. Recognition? No. That was impossible. Lena turned to the boy. He smiled at her, small and innocent. "Don't cry anymore, Mommy," he said softly. "Daddy found you again." Lena's knees went weak. The room tilted. Her past had just collided with a future she never asked for. And Damien Wu was watching her like he'd just seen a ghost. I said I don't know him. Lena's voice cracked like thunder in the glass-walled lounge, slicing through the suffocating silence. Damien didn't flinch. He stood by the fireplace, arms crossed, the weight of his reputation and billions pressing down on her with every slow breath he took. I've already reviewed the footage, he said, voice low but lethal. My son saw you from across the ballroom and ran. You weren't even looking at him until he called you Mom. He looked her dead in the eyes. So, why did he recognize you? I don't know. Lena stepped forward, fists trembling. I'm not some scam artist, Mr. Wu. I serve drinks for a living. And up until 5 minutes ago, I didn't even know you had a kid. Damien's jaw tightened, his stare like frost. But Lena didn't back down. The little boy, Eli, someone had whispered earlier, peeked up from the velvet couch. Don't fight, he murmured, voice barely audible. Lena knelt beside him, her voice softening like melted snow. Hey, buddy, it's okay. Nobody's mad at you. We're just confused. Eli's small hand reached out, tangling in her fingers. That touch, innocent, trusting, stilled her breath. Why did it feel familiar? She swallowed hard and looked back at Damien. He needs comfort, not cross-examinations. Damien's eyes flickered. For a moment, just one, something vulnerable danced behind the ice. Regret? Doubt? Then it was gone. I'll send for his nanny, he said. No. Lena stood tall. The room stilled. He called me Mom. If you rip him away now, in this state, you'll only traumatize him more. Her voice was firm. Let me stay with him, just until he calms down. You're a waitress, he said coldly. Not a therapist. She arched a brow. And you're his father. Are you even trying to understand what he needs right now? Or just calculating headlines? That hit something. Damien's face twitched, rage, guilt, or something far worse. And then he turned away. 10 minutes, he said. Then you're out. Lena sat beside Eli, rubbing his back gently. Her fingers moved with a muscle memory she didn't know she had. And Damien watched. Silently. Eyes unreadable. Eli leaned his head on her arm. You smell like Mommy used to. Lena blinked hard. She couldn't afford to care. Couldn't afford to get involved. Not with him. Not with this impossibly soft, tragically sweet child. But her heart didn't get the memo. Damien cleared his throat. You ever live in Chicago? No. Were you ever in San Diego 5 years ago? She frowned. What are you trying to say? I adopted Eli after his birth mother disappeared, he said, eyes narrowing. No name. No record. No closure. Lena's chest tightened. Are you accusing me of abandoning a child? I'm saying, Damien said slowly, his birth mother had your eyes. The silence that followed was nuclear. Lena stood, fire in her spine. Don't project your ghosts onto me, CEO. I don't run from responsibility. I work double shifts to survive. I take care of my sick aunt. I don't have time for your twisted fantasy. He stared at her, and for once, the ruthless mask cracked, just slightly. I had him DNA tested, Damien said. The mother's DNA is still in the system. If you're not her, you'll prove it easily. Lena didn't hesitate. Fine. Swab me. Do it now. The air between them pulsed with heat, anger, tension, something unspoken. Eli whimpered again. Lena turned back and smoothed his hair. I'm here, baby. Just for now. He looked up. Can you sing to me, like you used to? Her breath caught. Before she could think, the lullaby came out. Soft. Low. From somewhere deep in her chest, like muscle memory again. Damien's eyes widened. Because he recognized it too. She finished the song and met his gaze. You said the mother disappeared. Are you sure she didn't just forget? Forget what? He asked. Who she was. Or what she left behind. He stared at her like she'd just torn open a locked door he thought was forever shut. In that instant, Lena knew something horrifying. There was a past she didn't remember. And a child who might just belong to her. The DNA swab felt like fire against Lena's inner cheek. It wasn't painful, it was sterile, clinical, but the moment Damien handed the cotton-tipped tool to the discreet man in a lab coat, she felt something shift. Not in the room. In her. As if her life was being boxed up and shipped somewhere she couldn't reach. "You'll get your answer in 48 hours, Damien said, arms folded. He looked like a sculpture. Immaculate, cold, and carved from resentment. "Until then, don't come near him." Lena flinched. "I didn't ask to. Didn't you?" His eyes were like black glass. "You walked into my world, into his world. And the first thing you did was make him trust you." Her jaw tightened. "I didn't make him do anything. Maybe you should ask yourself why your son is starving for affection from strangers." The temperature in the penthouse dropped. "You're crossing a line," he said quietly. "No," she said, stepping closer. "I am the line. Between your money and his heart." Damien's nostrils flared. Eli, still on the couch, was drifting into sleep. The nanny stood nearby, stiff as a statue. But his small hand reached out mid-dream, murmuring, "Mommy, stay." Lena's chest squeezed. It was a reflex, one she hadn't known was buried in her bones, but her feet moved toward him again, like muscle memory guiding a ghost. Damien blocked her path. "No," he said, voice like granite. "If the test comes back positive, we'll talk. Until then, this ends here." Her eyes met his. "You're not doing this for him. You're doing it for you. Because you can't control what he feels." "And you think you can?" he snapped. She didn't answer. Didn't need to. Because the fear in his eyes wasn't about her. It was about the cracks showing in his world, the kind only a child's love could expose. That night, the city blurred through Lena's apartment window. Neon signs blinked over cracked rooftops, and rain streaked the glass like silent tears. She stood with a cup of stale tea, staring into the dark, replaying the lullaby. Why did I know it? She had no children, no records, no lost years. And yet, his voice, his eyes, his little hand gripping hers like it had always belonged there, it ached. She reached into a drawer, pulled out an old hospital bracelet. The one her aunt said came from the accident. 5 years ago. A car crash. Concussion. Weeks in recovery. Missing pieces. "Your mind protected you," Aunt Melba used to say. "Some memories just stay buried. Until a boy calls you mommy, and your soul says yes." The next morning, Lena stepped into the corporate lobby of Wu Industries. Polished marble. Steel elevators. Wealth in every polished surface. She didn't belong here. But she didn't care. Because whatever Damien said, whatever the test showed, she needed the truth. For Eli. For herself. Reception stopped her at the turnstile. "I'm here to see Mr. Wu," she said calmly. The receptionist blinked. "You don't have an appointment. Tell him it's the woman whose life your boss tried to erase yesterday." Seconds ticked. Then the glass doors opened. She took the elevator up. Heart pounding. Fingers cold. Damien stood at his desk, jacket off, sleeves rolled to the elbow. He looked more dangerous this way, like a man shedding his armor before a kill. "You shouldn't be here," he said without looking up. "I'm not here for a fight," Lena said, stepping in. "I'm here for answers." He looked up slowly. "No one's stopping you from waiting for the results." "That's not what I mean." She pulled out the hospital bracelet. 5 years ago, I was in a crash. No ID. No memory for weeks. My aunt told me I was found at the roadside unconscious. Doctors said I had amnesia, but I thought it was just a blip. Nothing serious. Damien's brow furrowed. "I remembered everything, except 2 months," she whispered. "And now a child recognizes my face, knows my voice, clings to me like I'm a part of him." She swallowed hard. What if I am? Damien walked slowly toward her. His face was unreadable, but his voice cracked when he spoke. "Why would you abandon him?" "I didn't." Her voice broke. "I don't think I ever got the chance to stay." Silence stretched like a noose between them. Then, the door burst open. It was Eli's nanny. "Sir, Eli's missing. Damien went pale.
What?
He ran off. Security just called. They think he took the back stairs. He said something about finding Mommy. Lena froze. Damien's eyes locked with hers. The test results didn't matter now. Eli believed she was his mother. And nothing in the world, not logic, not fear, not even a billionaire's power, was going to stop her from finding him. Rain hammered the city, like a warning siren. Lena sprinted through the marble lobby of Wu Industries, breath shallow, heart exploding with panic. Elevators dinged. Security scrambled. Voices echoed in clipped urgency. But all she heard was his voice, Eli's voice, in her memory. Mommy, stay. She raced down the emergency stairwell where they said he was last seen. The corridors were dark, cold, empty. And somewhere in the building, her maybe son was alone. Damien followed, steps heavy behind her. Not a word between them. Just the storm of 100 unspoken fears. He's afraid of elevators, Lena said breathlessly. When he grabbed my hand at the hotel, he clutched it when the lift moved. I thought it was just nerves. Damien slowed beside her.
He gets panic attacks sometimes.
Says Mommy used to sing to help. Lena stopped.
Turned.
Then why do I know that same lullaby, Damien? Why does my voice calm him like it's muscle memory for both of us? He didn't answer. Because even the cold CEO couldn't deny what was unfolding. Down 2 more flights, and there, a tiny shadow curled in the far corner of the hallway, drenched, shivering. Eli. Lena dropped to her knees. He looked up and burst into sobs. I thought you left again, he whimpered. You always leave. No, baby. I'm here. She pulled him into her arms. I'm right here. Damien stood frozen, as if watching something he had no power over anymore. I got scared. Eli cried against her shoulder. I waited at the hotel for you to come back that day, and you never did. That sentence struck like a blade. Lena's blood ran cold. The hotel?
That day?
She looked up at Damien. What hotel? She whispered. What's he talking about? Damien's eyes darkened. His voice was low. The Bellevue Grand. 5 years ago. You were listed under a different name. Lena blinked. Wait, I don't remember that name. I don't remember any of it. I tried finding you, he said tightly. After Eli was abandoned. The hotel gave me a fake ID used to check in. No security footage. It was like you vanished. Her heart raced. What was the name? Selena Gray. Lena's knees buckled. I was in a car accident that night, she whispered. That name was on my hospital bracelet. My aunt told me it wasn't mine, but she kept it anyway, said maybe it was the name of the person who hit me. Damien stepped back, stunned. You didn't abandon him, he muttered. You never left by choice. The hallway spun. She held Eli tighter, tears streaming silently down her cheeks. Then the realization hit them both. Someone had wanted her gone. Later that night, Damien stood in his office, staring out over the rain-slick skyline, hands in his pockets. Behind him, Lena sat in silence, a blanket around Eli, who finally slept peacefully on the couch. He remembers the perfume, Damien said suddenly. He described it to a sketch artist when he was 4. Said Mommy smelled like warm flowers in the rain. Lena pulled a small bottle from her purse. That's the scent I've used since I was 18. My aunt sends it from Paris every birthday. I never switched. He turned to face her, expression shattered. I fought so hard to hate you, he said hoarsely. To convince myself you were heartless. But you were stolen from us. And I never even questioned it. Lena swallowed the lump in her throat. You had a reason to hate me, she said. But now you have a responsibility to help me remember. A long silence stretched between them, until Damien slowly nodded. Tomorrow, he said, we go back to the hotel.
We dig.
We start where it ended. And then, his phone buzzed. A single message lit the screen. DNA results. 99.99% match. Maternal link confirmed. Damien looked at Lena.
She didn't need to ask.
Because her body already knew. Eli was hers. But before she could speak, Damien's phone buzzed again. A new message. If you want to keep your precious secret safe, Tell the girl to walk away. Or next time, the child disappears for good. Damien's face turned white. Lena's stomach dropped. Damien, she whispered. He looked up, eyes burning, jaw clenched. We're not just uncovering memories anymore, he said grimly. We're walking into a trap. You said nothing would happen to him. Lena's voice cut through the sleek silence of the CEO's penthouse like glass snapping underfoot. She stood barefoot on the marble floor, her fists clenched, the storm outside matching the chaos inside her chest. Damien was silent across the room, hands buried in the pockets of his tailored slacks, his jaw tense, too calm, too cold. She marched up to him, barely suppressing the shake in her voice. You read that message and you still let Eli go to school today? He was safer in routine, Damien said flatly. Eyes everywhere. Security detail he doesn't even know about. That message said he'd be taken. Lena's voice cracked. And you gambled with him like this is just another boardroom bluff? Damien's gaze darkened. I don't gamble with my son. You did today. Their eyes locked. Sparks. Fury.
Pain.
Years of betrayal condensed into silence. Then, her voice dropped. Tell me the rest of the truth, Damien. You keep controlling everything, but you're hiding something. Why was I in that hotel 5 years ago? Why did I have no ID? Why did I wake up in a hospital registered under Selena Gray? Damien looked away, and for the first time she saw guilt. I didn't find you by accident, he admitted quietly. I sent someone to follow you. Lena's breath caught. What? That night, I suspected a leak in my company, someone on the inside feeding competitors. You worked room service at Bellevue. You passed a tray to a man I was watching. Her stomach turned. So, I was just a suspect. You were a target. Until you disappeared. And I told myself it was convenient. A sick silence stretched between them. I got into that car because I was running from someone, Lena whispered. Someone chased me. I slipped on the rain, hit the curb, then nothing. Damien's fists clenched. You were never the mole. But by the time I knew that, you were gone. And Eli, he was left in the hotel nursery, with only your perfume and a lullaby. Tears welled in Lena's eyes, but she refused to let them fall. I lost everything that night, she whispered. And you turned me into the villain. Damien's face twisted. I hated you for making Eli cry every night. For every birthday, he asked if Mommy would come back. I taught him to forget your name, to hate lullabies. Lena turned her back to him, because if she didn't, she'd collapse. I want to protect him now. But how do I do that when even you, she choked, even you think he's just a pawn? His voice cracked behind her. He's the only thing that ever made me human, Lena. Silence. And then her phone buzzed. One new message. No name. No number.
Just a video link.
Her fingers trembled as she tapped it. The screen lit up. Surveillance footage, grainy, old. A hotel corridor. The Bellevue Grand. Date stamped 5 years ago. A woman in a staff uniform, her. Pushing a tray. Then turning. Then running. Behind her, 2 men in suits follow fast. Then, her face close to the camera, fear in her eyes. Lena dropped the phone. Damien picked it up, watching in horror. They were your men, Damien. No, he whispered. I know. I never ordered this. But Lena was already backing away.
You didn't protect me then.
And if you can't protect him now, her voice shook as she pointed to the phone. Then I'll protect my son alone. She turned for the door. But Damien caught her wrist. Gently this time. I didn't know. But now that I do, Lena, please don't go. If you walk out, they'll come for you again. She looked back at him, eyes hard. They already did. Then she was gone. Rain hammered the windshield as Lena's car sped down the city streets, wipers scraping frantically. The world blurred outside, neon lights smeared like bruises across glass. She gripped the steering wheel tighter, jaw clenched, heart racing, not from the storm outside, but the one inside her. The video wouldn't stop replaying in her head. Their suits, their faces, her own fear. She didn't remember the moment, but her body did. The helpless terror, the blind panic. And Damien, his voice when he whispered, They weren't mine. But how could she trust him now? Not when lies had been the foundation of everything between them. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. You were never meant to survive that night. Her blood ran cold. A call came in. Damien. She rejected it. Another came seconds later. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. A deep voice distorted. We warned you to disappear, but you came back for the boy. Lena's breath caught. If you want him to live, stop digging.
Click.
Silence. Tires screeched as she slammed the brakes, pulling to the side of the road. Her chest heaved. Tears blurred her vision. They were watching her.
Watching Eli.
She couldn't go home. Couldn't lead them to him. Her hands trembled as she typed out a message. To Mrs. Oliveris, Eli's teacher. Please keep Eli in school. Don't let anyone pick him up except me. Say, it's a security issue. She hit send and closed her eyes, breathing through the panic. And then resolve. She wasn't that girl from 5 years ago. Not anymore. She picked up her phone. This time, she called him. Damien answered on the first ring. I was wrong, Lena said before he could speak. It's not just your company. It's deeper. Where are you? He demanded. I'm coming back. But we do it my way now. Silence. Then, he said quietly, then we'll do it your way. 20 minutes later, she stood in his penthouse again, soaked to the bone, eyes sharp. Damien met her at the door, jaw tense, hair slightly tousled, as if he hadn't stopped pacing since she left. Lena wasted no time. Whoever tried to eliminate me 5 years ago is still around, she said, pulling out her phone and showing him the latest message. He read it, face hardening. Do you still think this is just about a leak? She asked. No, he muttered. This is a cover-up. For what? I don't know yet. But you'll find out, she said, voice like flint. Because if Eli is in danger, I will burn this entire company down. His eyes met hers. So will I. A beat of silence passed between them. She looked away first, her voice softer now. I thought I could just protect him and leave. But this is bigger than us. Damien stepped closer, but didn't touch her. You shouldn't have had to do this alone, Lena. I did do it alone. For 5 years. He flinched. Her voice cracked. But I'm tired. I'm tired of running and not knowing who I am. I want to remember. I want the truth. I'll find it, Damien said. No matter what it costs. She finally looked up at him. And if that truth destroys everything, then we rebuild. His hand hovered near hers, but didn't reach for it. We rebuild together, he said quietly. Before Lena could answer, his phone buzzed. He frowned, checking it. A message. From his private investigator. Confirmed. The footage from Bellevue was scrubbed. Whoever did it had level 6 security clearance. That's internal, Damien. His heart dropped. Someone inside his empire had covered up the night Lena vanished. And they were still watching. His gaze snapped to her. Pack a bag. We're leaving. Where? Somewhere they can't trace us. I have a cabin outside the city. Surveillance-free. Lena hesitated, then nodded. For the first time in 5 years, she wasn't running away. She was walking into the storm, on her own terms. But neither of them saw the second message that came in moments later, from the same unknown number.